ACE Immigration and Relocation Specialist, Philippines. We help individuals and families in their immigration and relocation needs. AIMS Group, our group, has been in this industry for 14 years and was able to expand into 14 offices across Asia Pacific. AIMS Philippines was established in March 2019. We have a dedicated team of immigration consultants who are committed to guide you all throughout your immigration journey. We are well equipped to address your every need, from skilled migration for professionals, business and investment migration, or citizenship by investment for entrepreneurs and investors. We also have SRRB for foreign nationals who plan to retire here in the Philippines. And of course, we have your corporate relocation services for expatriates migration and relocation requirements. AIMS's vision is to be the leading and reputable immigration and relocation provider in Asia Pacific, recognized for our professionalism and service excellence. All of us pursue to achieve each and every client's goals through our specialized and dedicated teams. We believe in being pushed. These core values are intrinsic in our daily operations and lives. P for professionalism, U for utmost integrity, S for sincerity, H for human touch, E for empathy, and D for dedication. AIMS Philippines is a one-stop immigration solution provider. We offer you entire spectrum of visa application, relocation services, finding you a business solution, obtaining you banking services, purchasing real estate, and student services. We believe that migration is a lifetime investment, not just for you, but for the entire family. Obtaining a PR or permanent residency gives you better life, gives you access to healthcare facilities, gives you endless career opportunities, and of course, world-class education, and a lot more. For free consultation and assessment, you may reach out to us at the information below. Migrate with AIMS today.
Good morning, everyone. We would like to welcome everyone here in Teams and to our viewers on Facebook Live. We are flashing on Facebook the presentation and speakers only. May we know if you can hear us and if you can see the screen clearly. Please type yes and please type no so we can resolve it immediately. For our attendees in Teams, kindly make sure to indicate your first and last name so we could check your attendance. Again, I am Cedric David, Immigration Consultant at AIMS Philippines. And on behalf of the team, I would like to welcome to each everyone here at AIMS Philippines free live webinar entitled Australian Migration. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. Before we proceed, I'll also introduce the officials that are here with us. With me are immigration consultants, our client support specialists, and of course, our consultant manager. Today, we will discuss on how to obtain Australia permanent residence visa through the Australia General Skilled Migration. To formally start the session and without further ado, and I would like to introduce our very handsome speaker and one of my best colleagues, Mr. Jao Las Piñas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cedric David. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I also hope that everyone all had their breakfast already. So I'd like to introduce myself. I am Joe Andre Las Piñas, and I work as an immigration consultant at Ames Philippines, Manila. Hi, I would like to greet everyone again. I am very pleased to be the speaker for today's webinar. And I hope that by the end of it, we are to know more about Australia General Skilled Migration Program, which could be your direct pathway to becoming a permanent resident in Australia. If you have any questions during our presentation, please write them down because after our discussion, we will have a Q&A session where my co-immigration consultant will answer all your questions. So for the company's introduction, Ames Immigration and Relocation Specialist is a migration and relocation agency dedicated to supporting individuals and companies with all their migration and relocation needs. Our headquarters is based in Singapore and incorporated in November of 2006. And as you can see in the picture, the official mascot of Singapore is called merlion. It's a type of mythical creature with a head of a lion that represents Singapore's meaning Lion City or Kota Singa, and a body of a fish that represents Singapore's origin of a fishing village when it was called Temasek. And with this, we very much appreciate our company's origin because if it wasn't for our superiors, we could not expand the footprint to 10 offices across the Asia Pacific. Ames offer an entire suite of services from skilled migration to business and investment migrations, passport programs, and relocation services. Our Our vision, we want to be the leading reputable migration and relocation provider in the Asia Pacific recognized for our professionalism and service excellence. While for our mission, we want to achieve clients' migration and relocation goals through our specialized and dedicated team. Here at Ames, our team possesses the following core values for our daily operations and lives. P for professionalism. All right. So for our values, our team possesses the following core values. Pushed. P for professionalism. U for utmost integrity. S for sincerity. H for human touch. E for empathy. And D for dedication. And with Ames being present since 2006, here are the awards from way back. From 2018 as a top 100 to 2019 becoming the top 50 and up until 2020 became the top 25, and that is globally. For our services, we offer skilled workers, investors, student visa, family visa, citizenship, corporate relocation, employer sponsorship, and even entrepreneurs. So what is the difference between the permanent resident visa and temporary visa? Let's start with temporary visa. This includes most of the well-known types of visas. And these types of visas are the working visa or work permit, and as well as the student visa and the tourist visa. So for permanent resident visa, you can achieve a regular work, while for temporary visa, it is only a contractual work. Next is an opportunity for you to stay permanently and settle in Australia. While for temporary visa, this is only a brief stay. And if you have children or you are open to study in Australia, this is also a free or subsidized education, while for temporary, it will most likely be costly for tuition fees. Next, this open a pathway for citizenship. Well, for temporary, you have to travel back to your place of origin. And of course, this also open a path for your family to move in with you. And also a pathway for career and life opportunities. So what is general skilled migration? The General Skilled Migration Workers Program is for skilled workers and families who intend to immigrate to Australia permanently. This program is point tested and are either independent, state or territory sponsored, or family sponsored permanent visas. You may be eager to ask, what's the catch? Or what are the benefits you can receive after applying for such application? First is the easiest, because this can be your direct pathway to becoming a permanent resident in Australia. Second is that you are entitled to the most social benefits that all Australian citizens receive, including their healthcare. And for your young ones and children, the education is for free from primary and secondary, and up until tertiary education, this is heavily subsidized. Third will be your right to live, work, and study anywhere in the country, including New Zealand, as an Australian permanent resident. And you can convert your PR into citizenship in Australia. So here are the general requirements for Australia's skilled migration. First, your age must be below 45 at the time of invitation or the ITA. Occupation is in the list of eligible, your occupation must be on the list of eligible occupations. Next is you need to pass the relevant skills assessment. And then you need to attain at least 65 points in the Australia. And you also need to take a general skill migration program points test and provide evidence of competent English or higher. You can choose whether to take the IELTS or the PTE. And you also need to meet the health and character requirements. So for the timeline, the average process can take up to 2 to 3 years of processing time. First, you will be doing is engage with AIMS and submit the basic requirements. Next will be your skills assessment. And then we will determine what is the applicable visa option for you. Upon expression of interest, that is the time when we will lodge your application. And after that, we will process your visa application. Then lastly, we will wait for your residence visa approval. So upon engaging with AIMS, you need to comply your employment reference letter with job duties. But don't worry, the template will be provided by us. All you have to do is for you to sign with your HR or your boss. Next is your education certificates and transcript of records. You also need to provide your pay slips, tax, and other proof of paid employment. For skills assessment, here are the lists for your assessing authorities. EA for Engineers Australia, AFRA or Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, and then ANMAC for Australian Nursing and Midwifery Accreditation Council. ACS is for Australian Computer Society. CPAA is for Certified Practicing Accountants Australia. AITSL is for Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership. And lastly is for VET Assess or Vocational Education and Training Assessing Services. Next will be your visa options. For your visa options, the visa subclass 189, this is a skilled independent visa, which means you'll be able to go anywhere in Australia, including the major cities such as Sydney, Melbourne, and etc. While for the visa subclass 190, this is a skilled nominated visa wherein a specific state in Australia will nominate you, where your specific profession is open. Within this visa, we will be locked in that specific state for 2 years. Lastly, the visa subclass 491. This type of visa is a state and territory nomination visa. The same goes with 190, but in this, you'll be locked in for 3 years in that specific region. Then lastly, the other type of visa subclass 491. This visa subclass allows eligible members who can sponsor your application and migrate to Australia. The fourth step is the lodging of your EOI. The average time for the process can take up to 3 to 5 months. EOI means expression of interest. This is the time for lodging the application. You need to submit the results of your skills assessment with your IELTS or PTE exam result. Next is for your feasibility report. For the feasibility report, these guidelines will be provided by AIBS. And lastly, for the current work, your current work or occupation must be continuous while we are processing your application. Fifth step is once the result of your application is approved, the following process would be your invitation to apply for your visa application alongside alongside that you need to secure your police clearance, which is your NBI clearance here in the Philippines. Then you also need to provide your medical clearance to ensure that you are physically and mentally fit for the application. And as long as you don't have HIV, terminal illnesses, and tuberculosis, you are good to go. And lastly, on the sixth step, once the visa is approved, you will be granted an immigrant visa to Australia. That would be all for Australia General Skilled Migration Program. If you have any questions, our team will address them in all this time for further clarification. I'll return the floor to Mr. Cedric David.
Testimonial.
But for Mr. Cedric, before that, we're going to present a video to you guys. I hope you watch this carefully.
Hi, Princess. How are you?
Hello, Ashley. I'm good, thank you. Yourself? Yeah, I'm feeling great today.
That's good.
Necessarily, thank you for taking your time off your busy schedule to
No
have
problem.
this web interview with us. Right? Would you care to introduce yourself?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi, Ashley. My name is Frances Danica Paderna. I was an emergency registered nurse back home in the Philippines. I think that was 4 years ago. And now I'm here in Sydney working as a surgical registered nurse in Norris Private Hospital for almost 2 years now.
Okay, so I guess you're enjoying your life in Sydney itself.
Yes, pretty much. Since this COVID-19 happened, a lot of plans to do, but
Right,
practice your nursing pretty much.
right. Okay, so the first question that I'd like to ask you is that why the big move, like from Philippines all the way to Australia, Sydney?
Okay, so everyone else is asking me that question. I only have one answer for a broader future, I should say, because life here in Australia, you have easy access in terms of financial and healthcare.
Okay.
So, yeah, my inspiration is my family. So, I wanted to support my family in terms of financial. That's the most important thing. So, why I moved here.
Okay, so when you talk about this financial support to your family back in the Philippines, I guess you're saying that the hourly wage and the annual package is there's a huge difference, right, in terms of what you're getting in Philippines.
Yeah, it's way, way different.
Okay, so on top of being able to give the extra bit of financial support back to your family in Philippines, I guess the other drawing point for you might be the life there. Is how is that like different from your life in Philippines?
Okay, so not to mention only the financial that I've said earlier. So the healthcare here in Australia is very extraordinary. So
Okay.
aside from the fact that 95% of tests and procedures are all free and no costs at all,
Okay.
the healthcare quality is very good. So all the healthcare, they are very respectable, and you've got easy access to all the things. Like you can just do everything online.
Okay, so I hear that it's more easy for you in terms of the healthcare benefits that a permanent resident or even Australian citizens can get, right? The
Yes, that's
healthcare
the main
benefits.
thing.
Okay, how's the life like for you in Australia? Like, after your office hours or during your weekends, what do you do with your family?
Okay, because normally I work like 5 days a week or sometimes 6 days a week. So my day off will be just the weekend, and my husband's day off is weekend as well. So
Okay.
normally we just catch the train, go to the city, eat out, watch movie.
So it's just more relaxed kind of like
Yeah,
there. But do you like do road trips and stuff? Because Australia itself, right, as itself is a
very
fantastic
big.
country for you to really travel within itself. Do you do like
Yeah,
road trips and stuff?
yeah. Sometimes we do because I have like an extended family here. My sister-in-law, my brother-in-law's here.
Oh,
They've got two sons. So yeah, so we go out together, go to the beach together.
okay. So a lot of activities for you and your family, or being able to take care of financial support that you want for your family back in Philippines.
Yes.
Like
So not
kill
yes.
two birds with one stone.
Well, exactly. So not just you make your family happy back home, so you also make yourself happy. So that's why I really mentioned about the healthcare here, because
Right.
you need to take care of yourself. So just you go to the GP, you go to your doctor, and everything's done.
Okay, so one more question because it seems like you really feel like you made the right choice. Am I right to say that you have not regret your decision to make that big move in your life?
Yeah, actually, you are correct, Ashley. I have no regrets at all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it means that right now you're enjoying your life and everything just falls perfectly to whatever that you really dream of, right?
Yeah. So everything will just fall exactly into its right place, even though how long you wait, how fast it happens, how long it will happen. So
Okay.
yeah, if it's for you, I should say it'll happen.
Thank you so much. I'll need to check with my boss before I make the move. All right.
Think
So,
about it.
do you think can share with us your experience with AIMS? Like how do you get to know us and yeah, like how's the whole process with us, how things go for you? Yeah.
Actually, you guys played a very important role in my whole migration process. So the people behind AIMS, it's really good because I've mentioned earlier that I don't work back in Singapore, so I only work back in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So the only communication with AIMS and me is via post or via email.
Okay, so how did you get to know about AIMS?
So I had my brother-in-law, which he referred me to AIMS, and he said, why not? Because I already have booked for like a tourist something in Singapore for in a week. And I said, oh, yeah, why not book for an interview, squeeze it in one of the weeks. So yeah, we went to AIMS, had a personal interview. And after that, actually, I didn't sign up. I didn't say yes. So I went back home in the Philippines, think about it, and just it in a matter of seconds, we decided to just say, yeah, I think I want AIMS to help me with our migration process
Okay.
because you guys really gave me through your only if even only email, you bullet, you gave me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10 of what will happen, what's going to be your process, what's going to be your pathway.
Okay, so I guess my colleagues really did a great job in really explaining the things to you, even whether it's face to face or through the email, whereby they listed every single point that you as an applicant will need to know whether
Yes.
or not to proceed with this application, right?
Yeah, actually, you guys did not miss out any single thing. It may be negative or positive, and even when I email you guys, you reply the same day because I'm already here in Australia as a tourist back then. So the time difference would be 2 to 3 hours. So
Okay.
even if I replied at this, you guys like reply very fast. So I should say, yeah, my process with AIMS is really smooth.
Yeah, so we meet your criteria of what a good
Yeah,
consultancy firm is.
really. And very, I should say, very affordable as well. I talked to some of my colleagues as well
Right.
when I had the bridging course together with them. So,
Okay.
so of course, when you're with your friends, you're asking, oh, who helped you? Who helped you with your migration process? So I
Right.
always say it's you, based in Singapore. So
Right.
this and that, and they will tell me as well who helped them. Yeah, but it seems they have a lot of problems, and I say, oh
Ah,
no, I already completed my requirements, which my agency told me, and they say, oh, how come you got that one? So they, I should say that they don't have that complete requirements to be or to be posted to board of nursing or to whoever. But for me, when AIMS email, I comply it, and that's it.
so thank you so much. Maybe we can end off with you doing some kind of like shout out to Filipinos in Tanah, maybe whoever who are looking to or rather exploring migration to Australia. So
Yeah.
maybe yeah, Francis.
Okay. Hello, my fellow kababayans. So if you're planning to do a big move as what I did, I tell you it's not a very short process. It's not easy, very stressful. So what I should say is prepare yourself. Don't get discouraged. If mistakes and any problems come your way, lean on to your family and always pray. I should say give your patience like a very, very long because it'll help you all through the way.
Right, cool. I guess you kind of like strengthen their confidence and make them want to move ASAP like you.
And can I add one more?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And choose AIMS. AIMS is really good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, choose the correct agency that will help you. And there are times I would want to share this to you because my aunts and uncle back in UK, they were just telling me, oh, I hope your agency gave you the best advice, blah blah blah. So it seems like very very bad discouragement for me. So because they're like one of my cousins as well is in the move in Australia
Okay.
together at the same time. But I had you guys, and she had a different
Agency.
agency.
Right.
But you know what? Tell you, I got my permanent resident first. Yeah. So yeah, I was very happy.
Congratulations, Reed. Okay, so
Thank you so much.
thank you so much for your time. I guess we can end off this interview. Thank you for your time. Really
No
stay
problem.
safe and let's keep in touch. Thank
All
you,
the time.
Francis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Francis. How are you?
All right. So that would be it for the video. I apologize earlier, my camera wasn't showing. But if you have any questions or clarifications, my team will accommodate those questions shortly, and I'll return the floor to Mr. Cedric. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning. I am Joy Princess Aguilar Buna, one of the immigration consultant here at Ames. And for the question of Mr. Juan Miguel Garcia, how much money should we prepare? Basically, this will depend on the skills assessment or the assessing authority as well as the current conversion. So if you would like to know more about the money you should prepare, I will suggest to have a one-on-one consultation with your assigned immigration consultant.
Hi, good morning. I am Kimberly Bin, one of the immigration consultant. As for Jonathan Malonzo, how much is the processing fee? It really depends po talaga kung saan magpo-fall yung application nyo, whether single, family, or de facto. Also, i-consider din po natin yung current exchange rate.
For the question of Mr. Joel Flores, can we get a soft copy of the seminar presentation? Regarding with this question, the soft copy of the timeline as well as the whole process will be sent to you by the assigned immigration consultant after the consultation. So I highly suggest that after the consultation to ask for a copy of it, and it will be sent via email.
As for Miss Karen Ochea, do you offer assistance when it comes to finances? Unfortunately, we don't offer finances when it comes assistance finances.
About for Mr. Jonathan Malonzo, when do we pay the processing fee? It will depends, but we have it can be negotiated by your immigration consultant, and the processing fee will be paid upon the initiation of the services.
For from Daniel Galang, for family invitations, is it necessary na immediate family lang dapat ang mag-invite? Yes, ma'am.
For Mr. Joel Flores, how long is the process? Will it take 1 to 2 years? Actually, the average process is 2 to 3 years, but this is a case-to-case basis. Will depend on your cooperation by submitting the documents and as well as the whole process.
Another question for Miss Karen. Do you have an office in Cebu? The only office is located in BGC Taguig.
And in addition, Miss Karen, since we do not have office in Cebu, we are very confident that we can process your application even if you're not here in Manila. And you can send your documents via email, but make sure that it is a originally scanned copy. How Question by Miss Carla: How to apply for visa 491 family sponsored? So this process is in stage 3 for the invitation to apply. It will fall for the 491 if ever na family sponsored yung ating applyan na visa subclass.
As for Miss Aina Marie Torres, how about for student visa? How long is the process? The process time takes 2 to 3 months.
For the question of Mr. Edgar, IELTS is required. For the English test, you have a choice if you want to take the PTE or the IELTS, and this is required, and it will add additional points for your points test.
As for Atan Boy, which is better? Should I apply firstly here in Philippines looking for Australian jobs, or should I secure PR visa firstly, then apply in Australia? As an immigration consultant, a professional advice, we suggest that you should secure your permanent resident, then apply for a job, since Australia accept um, immigrants who are currently living in Australia.
For the question of Miss Laika Rasgo, will it still be a 2 to 3 years long process even if I already had some of my requirements? The good thing about this is since you already have your requirements, there will be a shorter, it can take a at least 2 years for this one. And if ever it is a case to basis, it is a case to case basis, will depend on the whole process as well.
From Miss Karen Ochea, is the student visa more expensive than PR? We suggest that you should consult your immigration consultant for fees. Regarding about fees, then compare which fees is more expensive.
Hi, good morning. This is Joyce, one of the immigration consultants. To add up to Miss Kimberly's answer for Miss Aina Marie Torres, is the student visa more expensive than PR? We highly suggest that you go directly apply for permanent residency if you are eligible, since that is more cost effective if ever you would consider the fee, since when you apply for student visa you need to consider other factors such as your tuition fees, other miscellaneous school fees. So if ever you are eligible to apply for permanent residency, we highly advise that it is much better pathway for you. Thank you very much. Hi, good afternoon. This is Winona, also one of the immigration consultant here. For Jonathan Malonzo's question, can PR and student visa application be work in parallel? Actually, yes. It will play a big factor if you will do it concurrently. Since student visa, so once you're there, it can benefit you if you will be an archer applicant while applying for a PR. Thank you so much.
Again, for Miss Karen Ochea, is IELTS or PT still required for student visa? Yes po, ma'am. Nire-require pa rin po ni Australia na mag-take ng English exam po.
For Miss Irene question, if not currently working as a nurse, pwede pa rin ba mag-process ng skilled visa? As long as you have a experience for at least the past 10 years na related doon sa ating bachelor's degree, we can process this application.
Good morning again. To add more on Miss Karen Ochea's question, yung IELTS and PT is still required with the student visa. Actually, yes. Kasi ma'am, there are specific student school organizations that require the IELTS. Most of them hindi naman, but it will play a big factor again kapag may IELTS po kayo for you to have higher chances of getting accepted dun sa mga schools na pag-a-apply niyo po.
For the question of Miss Dory Bukiing, for family of three, you will assist us in finding the perfect employers for us, right? For teachers, what English test should I take? For the employers, unfortunately, we do not have a partners employer in Australia. But before you have a visa grant, you can find a potential employers before you go to Australia. And for the teachers, the English test that you would take is the IELTS academic.
Good morning again. For Miss Grace Joy Gloria's question, for an electronics engineering graduate, i-consider na ba yun sa Engineers Australia for skills assessment? Actually, yes. Good thing po yung question nyo. Kada profession kasi, ma'am, there will be specific skills assessment. And by electronics engineer, usually, assessing authority would be Engineers Australia po. But it will depend on your working experience as well, of course.
For Joel Flores, meron po bang for Canada seminars? Actually, sir, pinaplan pa lang po namin yan. Maybe next month po, magkakaroon na po kami ng Canada seminar po. And we'll update you na lang po kapag nagkaroon na po kami ng webinar link po.
For Ms. Laika Rasgo, are you going to assist to look for an employer? Just like what I said a while ago, unfortunately, we do not have any partners employer in Australia, but most of the Australian employers consider the factor that you are a PR visa holder. So most probably before you, once you had a visa grant, you can search or search for your potential employer in Australia.
Again, good morning. This is Joyce. To add to Mr. Joel's question about for Canada consultation, the assigned consultant will contact you, sir, because we do also conduct one-on-one consultations for that said program. So after this webinar, the immigration consultant can email and call you, sir. Thank you po.
For Mr. Manuel Cascaño, where can we send the requirements for the application and what are the requirements? For this one, after you engage with AIMS, we will provide a detailed checklist and it is a list of the necessary documents needed in order for us to start the application.
For Miss Carla, how many points do I need to apply for Visa 491 considering my age is 37? Do I still have a pathway for PR? About this, ma'am, you need to undergo our point test. Then your specific immigration consultant will contact you after this to have a scheduled appointment to them to know if whether your application will fall under subclass 491.
Good morning. This is Winona again. With regards to Sir Jonathan's question, do we have to settle the processing fee before initiation, or it could be staggered? So regarding on the consultation fee, it's usually paid upon initiation, but we also do staggered payments, but it will depend on the immigration consultants po.
For Mr. Romel De Castro question, ano pong requirements ng family sponsored? Usually this one, it will either fall sa 190 subclass or say 491 will depend doon sa qualification ng isang state.
For Mr. Jonathan Malonzo, for family members under late 50s, what will be the option for them aside from petitioning? Aside from that, the best alternative is to have them tourist visa or student visa.
For Mr. Romel De Castro, I'm 51. Pwede pa po ba ako mag-migrate sa Australia? I have a sister in Sydney. For this one po, unfortunately, there is a age needed for this migration. It is up until 45 years old. The best thing you can do is apply for tourist visa, so you will have a multiple entries in Australia.
For the question of Miss Carla, your first question would be how many points do I need to apply for visa 491 considering my age is 37? Do I still have a pathway for PR? And I graduate as Bachelor of Science in Commerce, major in management, and my current job is procurement specialist and accounting specialist. Honestly, ma'am, to know your eligibility, your advised immigration consultant will conduct a pointings test to know your current points if you need to work on some points or this is the ready points that you'll be needing in applying for this visa. Australia has ANSCO that is we need to consider. So I think procurement specialist and accounting specialist would be eligible in applying for permanent residency.
For Miss Grace Joy Gloria, with regards to requirements, what is the required band for IELTS to pass? The required band for IELTS is band 7 or at least proficient in English.
For Miss Lizette Umali, I graduated in 2018. Can I still apply for subclass 476? For this one, for the subclass 476, we will check what are the qualifications here, and will your immigration consultant assigned to you will contact you and give you the details. For Mr. Jonathan Malonzo, once the process is initiated, do you set a timeline for the submission of requirements? After you engage with AIMS, there will be an agent who will handle your application, and there will be the one who will not who will give you the what are the documents needed to be submitted in that current stage. Also, we are very highly confident that you will have a positive outcome when it comes to this migration, since our agent is trained under the Singapore management.
So we have a question on FB Live. So for Miss Abby Saril, hello, I already have my skills assessment and IELTS. I did this on my own. Could AIMS can assist me to have an invitation in Australia? Well, of course, Miss Abby, we are more than happy to assist you.
For Ms. Lisette Umali, is the consultation part of the paid processing fee. Our consultation is free and it will take only 15 to 20 minutes of your time, and it will depend on the Q&A portion po. So, the longer, mas marami kayong tanong, the longer yung inyong consultation. So, it is free naman po and it is via Zoom.
For Mr. Emmanuel Cascaño, is there an age limit for the application? Yes, sir. Meron po siyang age limit, which is yung inatanggap na lang po ni Australia is from 44 years old po. So yung age nyo po, if ever, is from nasa 40 na po, we highly suggest po na i-grab nyo na po yung chance to apply for application po.
We have a question from FB Live from Mr. Jeremy Manite. Good morning. My wife wants to be the main applicant, but she turned 45 this year. If and only if I will be the applicant, can she contribute points for me? What can you advise on this? Thank you. Based on this one, your wife can contribute points by getting an English test because there will be an additional points for that. Also, if your wife is your if his profession is skilled, she can also take a skills assessment as well. So you will have a higher point. So meaning the higher points you have, the higher chances that you will get an invite. Frequently asked question, why choose Ames to assist me for my migration application? Uh, at we at Ames Immigration and Relocation Specialists have a 16 years of expertise as well as known at Immigration Business Consultancy with several offices over Asia Pacific. We assist individuals with quality service and have a team of committed consultants who are well equipped to accommodate your every requirement.
Another question from Mr. Emmanuel, is IELTS a requirement in application? Yes po sir, nire-require po ni Australia na mag-take po ng English exam, whether IELTS or PTE.
And to add up with Mr. Emmanuel's question about the IELTS, so the minimum bond level that Australia requires is to have proficient English, which is IELTS 7. And then if you engage with us, we can extend free training materials, and then we can assist you on booking on the nearest testing centers in your area. So we will be all throughout your journey in applying for this visa.
For Miss Irene, if meron ng student visa sa Australia, can I still process for the skilled visa while in Australia? Yes, of course, you can still process your PR. And then the good thing about this is that you have a entry na in Australia. So there will be a additional, not points, but an additional benefit since you already go in Australia and you are onshore by that by that time, sorry.
So another frequently asked question, what is skilled migration? It's a pathway for skilled workers to permanently settle and migrate to a country through a permanent residency visa. A skilled worker is an individual who specializes skills and undergoes training that they apply to their current profession.
For Mr. Jeremy question in FB, in addition, if I will be the main applicant, it is okay if I'm not currently working. My last employment is from 2020. There is no problem, sir, if your last work experience is in 2020, as long as your past work experience is related to your bachelor's degree from the last 10 years and you have at least 3 years of work experience, we can process the application. Frequently asked question, who can apply for permanent resident? Anyone can apply for PR and each country has its unique criteria for permanent residency. To be accepted, countries like Australia, Canada, and the USA are always welcoming migrants because they are country. To know more about your eligibility for your preferred country, kindly complete the free assessment form. An immigration consultant will directly reach you out and discuss more about the program.
As for Miss Carla, ma'am, ilang score need sa PTE for Visa 491 family sponsored? Same lang din po siya sa IELTS po na kailangan nyo rin pong ma-hit is at least PTE 7 po. Another frequently asked question: how long is the processing time for migration application? The standard application procedure takes from between 12 to 36 months, depending on the visa pathway chosen and country. On the timeline, delays may occur due to the common factors such as NBI or police clearance issue, a medical condition, inability to obtain necessary documents from academic institutions, or company and global epidemic.
Good morning again. This is Winona. From Mr. Jonathan's question, will the processing time shorten for priority skills? Actually, yes. But it's a case-to-case basis. For Australia, there will be specific critical sectors where specific professions will be very needed, actually. But as of now, most of those professions will be medical professionals, engineers, and IT professionals po.
For Miss Grace Joy Gloria, with regards for petition po for my parents who is senior citizen na, are they still required for IELTS or any suggested requirements? With regards naman po yan, hindi na po kailangan ng mag-take ng English exam pag po magpe-petition po ng senior po.
For Mr. Emmanuel Cascaño question, hi, can I see the types of visa? This one will be discussed by your assigned immigration consultant, and we will see if the points you have is pasok doon sa criteria ng points ng mga visa subclasses.
For Miss Lizette Omari's question, are there specific medical conditions that can delay the processing? So within this process, the only major three conditions that you Australia doesn't require is to have HIV, terminal illnesses, and tuberculosis. As long as you don't have these three, you're very much eligible to migrate to Australia. So within the pre-assessment, clients need to be honest to the immigration consultant since medical conditions is not our control. So if medical fails, your application will be all fail. But as long as I said earlier, as long as you don't have that three major conditions, your process would be granted.
Another question for Mr. Jeremy Manite from FB about the English language exam. Is it online based or computers based? Nakadepende po kasi yan. If pinili po ninyo is IELTS, that would be online based po. And if ever naman po PTE, that would be computer based.
For Mr. Juan Miguel Garcia question, ilang points po ang kailangan sa subclass 189? For the subclass 189, you must have at least 85 points base score.
Good morning again. This will be one of the questions from the FB Live from Miss Abby Sarriel again. In the event that I didn't receive any invitations from Australia and my expression of interest expired, are there any chance that this can affect my future EOI? Actually, yes. Usually, most of the time, we are being transparent when it comes to the client. So we usually suggest that this will be reassessed if ever for your future EI to not be affected.
For the frequently asked question, can all my family members go with me once I obtain my permanent resident visa? Yes, you are welcome to bring your family members. You and your dependents will all be granted a permanent resident visa. However, it will depend on how many dependents are permitted in each country.
Why choose permanent resident over temporary resident? Once you are a permanent resident, you can enjoy benefits similar to those of a citizen of the country, such as freely settling, studying, working, traveling, and being eligible for government benefits. On the other hand, temporary residents may have many restrictions on working, settling, and are not eligible for government benefits.
How many years minimum of work experience need for skilled migration? At least 3 years of minimum work experience that is aligned in your current profession. The higher the years of experience, the better to be given a positive outcome and invitation from the country.
With the question of Mr. Jonathan Malonzo, while 65 points is the minimum, do you mean 85 points would be the ideal number for subclass 189 or 190 to be invited? Yes, sir. The minimum points for the 491 visa would be 65, while for 190 would be 75 and above, while for visa subclass 189 would be 85 and above. So we highly suggest that you need to work on some points if ever you would wanted to have a higher chances of getting invited immediately.
How can I start my application for permanent resident? Begin your application process with us by taking the first step of completing our free assessment to know your eligibility and discuss the program with our immigration consultant.
Do you have success story of a Filipino who migrated? Our company have helped 18,000 individuals to migrate to other country. You may visit our success stories to know the testimonials of our fellow countrymen.
Do you offer work visa or job to other country? AIMS Philippines is an immigration business consultancy that focuses on permanent resident visa to Australia, Canada, and the USA. Our company does not include jobs or working visa.
Are you a POEA accredited? We are not a recruitment agency and we do not provide employment. AIMS is an immigration business consultancy. For the question of Miss Carla, 491 family sponsored, how many points do I need to be invited? For the 491 subclass, you must have at least 65 points, but the higher points that you have, the higher chances that you will get an invite. For the last question, does it need show money? Some specific state in Australia require show money. This is to see if you can support the lifestyle that Australia have.
Good morning again. With regards to one of the questions from the FB Live from Mr. Jeremy Manite, follow up. How about the letters that I should request from a previous company's employers? Those companies are closed. Can I request these letters from other branches of different countries? Your response will be greatly appreciated. When it comes to the company where the company is already closed, usually we require for you to have a statutory declaration or sworn affidavit where your immediate colleagues can sign the sworn affidavit for your letters to be recognized with the documents. Thank you so much.
For the last question, if a person who is a single can migrate faster No, it is the same process as well as the other applicant, but single applicant will have the additional points and it will take more or less 1 to 2 years average process, but this is a really case-to-case basis. And once again, I am Joy Princess Aguilar Buna, one of the immigration consultant here at AIMS.
And I am Kim Balimbin, one of the immigration consultant here at AIMS. Thank you.
Gaga. Thank you, Miss Kimberly and Miss Princess. If there are no other questions, I'll be wrapping up with this webinar. Thank you once again for joining us today with a pleasure being with all of you. I hope that this gave you more knowledge and help you decide on your migration journey. If you have any other questions later on, your immigration consultants will reach you out after this meeting. And you may also wish to ask Mr. Zhao to join you during the one-on-one session with your consultants. Please don't forget to like or follow our social media pages, which are flashing on your screen right now. And again, I'm Cedric David, your host for today's stress seminar. We appreciate you for being here and we hope to see you very soon. Migrate with AIMS today and create a better future for you and your family. AIMS changing lives. Thank you and have a great day.